Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with my favorite person to talk about reality TV villains with and traitors with. We have Jonathan. How are you doing
Well,
today, Jonathan?
I'm good. I'm both a villain and a traitor.
I
No,
know.
I'm excited to, discuss a little bit about these shows that we have been interested and waiting for so long. I feel like as soon as we heard about them, we're interested in watching them. So now they're here, and now we get a little bit of a taste of it.
100%. So what we're thinking of doing today is just doing a little bit of a smorgasbord, if that's the word, smorgasbord of shows. So we're going to talk about the Traitors Canada, the first couple of episodes. We're going to talk about the cast that was released a couple months ago for the Traitors USA season 2, and then we're going to also talk about the first episode of House of Villains. So yes, it's going to be pretty informal. I do have like photos, of course, of the people from the cast of USA 2. But other than that, we're just going to be just chit-chatting, flying by the seat of our pants. Now, what show would you like to talk about first, Jonathan?
Um, I actually want to talk about House of Villains first because
Let's
I
do
I
it.
feel like that's like we've only had one episode, so it's more precise.
What'd you say? Sorry, you broke up.
What'd you say? Oh, I was saying it's only been one episode, so it's more precise, and we can talk about just that first. House of Villains.
Slash so we might need your assistant, anybody here watching live, because it seems as though the end of the episode was cut off for both of us on our streaming devices. And so I thought that I'd fallen asleep because I saw some clips on the internet showing Omarosa and crown and a coronation type thing, and I was like, oh, I guess I must have missed something. Maybe I fell asleep or something when I was watching it. And so I went back to watch, and it does cut off basically at an hour 3 into the episode. So we will need maybe a little bit of your help to figure out what did we miss? What has happened? I do have the cast here of House of Villains, so we can also take a look at that. So what are your overall thoughts of the season, of the series?
It's good. You know what? I thought I'm like, okay, these people are going to be trying too hard. They're going to be, they know what show they signed up for. They know why they're there, and they were cast. And I'm like, it's good. And yet, even in the first episode when they did, I'm still eating it up. I'm like,
Eat it.
and I don't even feel sorry. Like back in the day when you would see like New York take it out on like even Pumpkin or something like that, you'd feel bad for the because even though they know, like if it's Omarosa, if it's New York, whomever, you know, Johnny stealing Sarah's money, like whomever, you feel bad for the other person. But this is like they're all on equal ground and they all know what they're there for. So if they come for each other, I don't feel bad for anybody. I'm like, you knew what you're signing up for.
Absolutely. It's called House of Villains. So expect to have the pettiest of the petty, the rudest of the rudest, just the blasphemy of of how these people might treat each other is definitely what they signed up for. So it's pretty fun. Now, do you think that you would ever be cast on this show? And what would make you a villain?
No, I mean, I would only know from the online reality games that we play, and I think I'm this weird like in the middle kind of a situation. So I'm pretty. I would say I'm like a cutthroat hero, but I think that you would how like I would compare myself to a Big Brother Brittany or something like that, where it's kind of
Which Brittany?
you know
Oh,
um
Haynes? Haynes?
yeah, where it's like you're willing to do what you need to do, but in the like diary room and stuff, I'm like you tell it how it is, and you will tell people how it is, and so I'm somewhere in that kind of area. I feel for myself. What about you?
Um, I would love to be a villain, of course, because it's way more fun to be a villain. But unfortunately, I've had too much like education to allow myself to do things that are super petty because like I'm just really like I know the reason why people do things and like I've studied like life coaching and I've studied like hypnotherapy and so I feel as though I just don't know if I would allow myself to be super petty. But
Right.
when I was younger, people were scared of me. I definitely have always had a bit of a cutthroat tongue. I always fought with words, and like nobody usually could match me if they got into an argument with me. So if I were provoked into an argument of some sort, I think that I might be a little bit maybe maybe a little bit unhinged if I got to that point. But I just have not been there in years just because I've learned so much about like
Yeah.
myself and like how to be
Yeah. I mean,
or how to be better.
if you want me to be a villain and cast me as one, then I could be. But at the same time, it's see, I don't see myself as a villain. Like, let me just say that first of all. But I just countless people always say that they're intimidated by me, which always blows my mind, and scared of me, things like that. Like people will speak up on behalf of other people, and I just think it's more because of I mean, and then again, yes, when I was younger as well, it's like I wouldn't I wouldn't cross me.
Yeah, like no one would ever.
But
They were like
it's like but
I
I
had my crew. Like I was a mean girl for sure, or
oh,
considered one. I was like I didn't realize I was one until years later when people were like, "Yeah, like you were mean." I was like, "I'm
well,
sorry."
Chantel's for everyone watching, Chantel's very nice now, mean girl, and we're not villains, so yes, we're good. But I mean, and I think we've seen the evolution of what a villain is in reality TV, and I feel like this is a lot of old school villains mixed with maybe there's some new school. Actually, I know. We'll maybe go through the cast because I only know about half of them myself, and I feel like you might know the other half.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so I'm interested in seeing people that I don't know and shows that I haven't watched and how they come across too, and if they can kind of hold up to my villains that I'm used to. So
Yeah, I mean, I think though, like I wouldn't be surprised though if I became maybe a villain on one of these shows, um, because I definitely have like an intense eye roll, and like if people irritate me, like I can't hide it, and I don't back down necessarily from confrontation. So, I could see maybe if somebody was really annoying in the house that like maybe the teeth come out, you know? And definitely in the diary room. I'd be probably a villain in the diary room. And maybe nice to their face. I'm also not afraid, and I think you too, of making like a cutthroat move. Like, sorry, if you gotta go, you gotta go. So that could make me a villain.
yeah,
And
I
people
I, would, I wouldn't play with emotions myself. Like I would try to remove that as much as possible. I'm there for a purpose. And I mean, like in a regular reality show to win money, this show, it's still a purpose. I'm there to be a villain and win money. So it's, yeah, I mean, I just think that they will, like I said earlier, they will play it up and I'm okay with it. I'm so okay with it. Love it.
So Sophie's here thinking House of Villains is an awesome TV so far. Absolutely. Yes, so I thought that Matthew was gonna do this yesterday, but he had I think like a bachelor party or something like that, or I think something like that. He had an event to go to. So continuing on, it'll be probably either Matthew or Jonathan will be doing the coverage of these shows. Like we'll see. It's loose so far. There's so much TV on. So whenever we can cover it, we're gonna do our best to do so. But nothing's set in stone. Okay, hi Whitney. So Whitney says, "Oh, so you missed like 30 minutes of pure camp. 30
Wait,
minutes? It
how
was an hour
long?
and a half?
How long was the episode? Yeah, that's what we want to know. Was it an
2
hour?
hours?
How long was it? How long was it?
Brutal.
Because we only saw an hour,
An hour and 3.
3 minutes. Yeah, Canada. This isn't
But it
Canada.
was like it was on E Network. Like I taped like the episode. So like maybe they didn't block it for longer. That's so irritating.
I don't know. I even caught a, like, a show afterwards and tried to tape it and it didn't pick it up, so on a, like, a rebroadcast. So, yeah, how long was the episode, everyone? Wanna tell it?
Diva says, Jonathan a villain? Never. Slash, though, we both were painted as villains with the last game that we played together. Um,
Which one?
uh, in the
Oh,
beginning,
oh,
in the beginning, I nominated somebody and they went ballistic and quit the game. And then at the, go ahead.
can I just say, like, in that same game, I recently just interviewed for a new game, and they were like, "Oh, you're that Jonathan." That's what I got. This was like 3 days ago. I was like, they're like, "Oh, you're the Jonathan from," I won't mention the game, and I was like, "Yep, yep, yep."
Oh, so your reputation does precede you.
I mean, listen, we don't put up with what we don't put up with, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so okay, so let's get into maybe just the cast, and we can talk about the
Yeah,
cast, and then we can take a look and see.
let's talk about the
Oh my
cast.
god, is my computer just gonna be annoying today? Okay.
Has anyone mentioned how long it was? I wanna know if I missed a whole hour or half an hour, I'd be so upset.
That would be really upsetting
I thought this
and
was like a
so on brand for Canada.
continuation of an episode, and they just, like, missed a few minutes, but
I'm sorry, this one little thing is not working. So let me just fix this, hopefully, and see what's happening. Frack.
wait, I do actually have a recap.
Um, do you want to read a little bit of the beginning of the recap while I set this up?
Sure. Sure. Where are we with that? I was at the end, but where are we? It says, yeah, so what happened to the Bruce? Is it 250,000? Is that I thought why did I think it was
I think
100?
it's 200.
Okay.
Traitors Canada, I believe, is 100,000.
Okay. Um yeah, well we start with I mean as you're bringing it up, it's
Did
just
we see them go into the secret room? No?
what cigarette?
Man, this is brutal.
Secret room in
House of
uh
Villains.
oh wait, where was there a secret room recently behind a painting and what show was I watching? I watch too much reality TV. Um well we started off meeting the cast one by one. So if I start, I'm gonna start by saying that we met in Johnny Fairplay. Um
Yeah, see if I can. Okay, let me, like this is bugging me. Okay, I'm just gonna do it this way because what I had set up is not working today. Okay.
but
Okay, you can start talking about Johnny Fairplay. I've
be great.
got a picture of
So
his, even though this site does not have their like it's all cut off, but whatever. Johnny Fairplay.
I really haven't seen Johnny Fairplay in a lot since Survivor, his original, and then you know coming back. I think he came back and he was first boot, right? When he came back.
I think he
Yeah.
was first boot or very early.
Yeah. So, but I was like, okay. I mean, for me, like, sure, if you want, the longevity of the show, have several seasons. I mean, he lied about his grandma dying, and I think he's very cutthroat. So I love seeing that. I will say that I didn't realize his relationship with someone else in the house, which we'll get to. But I yeah, I was like, okay. I mean, I'm not like a fan or not a fan of Johnny Fairplay, but I mean, rightfully so. He's there. He's someone who what was that season 6, season 7 of Survivor, so like 20 years ago, almost. And yeah, I mean, we all know Johnny Fairplay, I think, from Survivor.
100%. So Diva here saying like, yeah, we missed about 30 minutes. Brutal. I'm so sorry. So this will be and this will be our version of the Traitors right now. We're gonna find out what happened in this episode live. So Johnny Fairplay, I didn't particularly love the dead grandma prank. Obviously it helped him in the game, whatever. I don't know, it wasn't a villainous move that like I enjoyed. It was just kind of like, ooh. Um, since then he's has his own podcast, NFSW. I don't really listen to it or watch it on YouTube, just because I don't really vibe with his takes for the most part. But I'm happy to see that he's here. I'm happy, that he's getting a second opportunity on reality TV. Like I like seeing people at least from my generation getting more opportunities. I've been talking about Golden Bachelor and about the fact that like it's really nice to see that you don't disappear after you turn 25. Like you're still relevant, and so I'm happy to see him come back because he's around my age.
Oh, I'd be upset if it was like all villains from like the last 5 years. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it
exactly.
was all young and under 30 or something. I'd be very upset with that. So I think he does have a place, um yeah, I'm interested in seeing what he brings to the table, because like he kind of is this self-appointed like scheming manipulator. So okay, let's see it, especially when you're in a house with all scheming manipulators or people who are overly dramatic. Like how is that going to play into, because I think a lot of these villains, prey on weaker people, uh,
Hmm. We
people
do see that in the first episode.
people who they think they can, steamroll almost, and or just like very innocent, and so yeah, how will Johnny do when there's a house not full of weak people? I mean, there might be one or two, but like I don't know, maybe their claws aren't out yet. So and then he's older now, so is he calm? Do people calm down when they get older? So it's like, I mean, not Omarosa, but everyone, you know what I mean? So like who knows?
Well, speaking of Omarosa, um, so it looks like Johnny Fairplay and Omarosa are going to they're like really close. Did they work on something together? Like, why did they have a close relationship? Do you know anything about that?
I don't. So yeah, he was the first one to come in. She was the last one to come in, and we find this out. And it's like I just think that they blossomed, let's say, at the same time in
Right.
reality.
Oh, so they're probably just like
Went to all
ar-
the same
in the
events.
same
They,
circuit.
yeah, exactly. And I thought it was kind of endearing that she's like, I think, loyal to him in a sense, and kind of like, oh, we got that. You know what I mean? Like we're from the same era, and I just kind of like seeing that from Omarosa. You know what I mean? Like I loved her. Did they get married? I don't think they got married. Ex fiance who passed
Michael
away.
Clark Douglas.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Duncan.
Duncan. Sorry.
And I when she was with him, I was like, oh, she has to be nice deep down on. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like he's super nice, and so this moment of her, I love her being a villain, but at the same time, it's nice seeing her being able to connect and relate, and potentially be loyal to people too. So
And also, like, might as well talk about like things that happen in the episode while we're talking about each of the cast. Um, and so when she was in the car, so throughout this episode, there's a challenge that happens where they're kind of had their own balls, that large balls that they had to protect, and Johnny Bananas does allow Omarosa to win this particular challenge, which is going to give them the power to be a super villain, and the super villain is going to be allowed to take two people with them on a special excursion, and then they also have the ability to nominate. I believe it's three people. Those three people play another challenge, and then one person goes home, if I'm not mistaken. Like the challenge is for one person to stay, and then I think they vote out of the two people left, one person to go home. Is that what you gathered was the rules of this? Because we didn't get to see it play out. Oh my god, this is so.
and the funny thing is that I was so I don't remember is the short of it, but also it's like I was so just into seeing all of them interact with each other that that was the least of my concerns. Other than like we saw that challenge with the big bubbles and stuff to become the supervillain, but as far as the dynamics of, let me see if I can if it says anywhere, but um yeah, it's I don't know if that's what Is it 3 of them and then they compete and then, like, someone wins them? I don't know, maybe that's
Win safety, like a veto, I think, and then 2 people
was
are
that
left on
the
the
show?
block.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
what I think happens, but if I'm wrong, you guys let me know because, clearly we didn't see this ending, and so, like, we can't verify, if we understand the rules of this season.
I mean,
So
I have the recap of, like, who's going up is what it's labeled as, so,
okay, great. We'll
I
play
see.
that shortly. So Omarosa though takes Bobby Light and Tanisha on this excursion, I guess we'll say, a luxury excursion. They go to the spa, and she chose these two because she feels they both have the biggest mouths in the house, and she wants to get some intel tea and kind of get her finger on the pulse as to what's going on in the house, and maybe get an idea of who she should nominate. And so after the spa, when they were on their way home, you hear from Omarosa that when she saw herself on TV for the first time, she saw that she had a really, really hard shell. And we learn again, I think I remember this from hearing about her past, that her father was murdered. Her mother was raising 4 children in the projects, and so she had to have a hard shell, a hard exterior to stay alive for the most part. And so it was also really nice, in my opinion, to see the heart of this villain here, and like the way that she acts. The reason why she became a villain was a way to protect herself, and so I thought it was an endearing moment there as well of Omarosa.
They didn't, talk about her time that I noticed in the White House, which I thought was interesting, or I wondered if they were instructed not to. Um, and I mean, if we're talking about Omarosa in this episode, we also have to talk about her interaction with, what's her name? Corinne?
Hmm.
I don't know Corinne. Corinne?
Hmm.
Corinne? Corinne?
Corinne.
Um, and I was like, it's so much as Corinne called out, but I was like, this is so good. Where she's like, just totally ignoring her, and then
Well,
because she didn't know where to Google. You might want to use Google. Yeah.
yeah, Corinne came in all sweet and like, bright eyed, and goes to give a handshake to Omarosa and says, "Oh, what's your name?" And she's like, "Google me." And she's
Like
like, "What?"
the wrong one to go to and say, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Google me. And then she just is like, not like,
She's like,
not even paying her more attention.
ma'am, ma'am is what she was saying. And then she's like, so let's talk. No, I just want to talk business with you. I was like, oh, this is so good right off the bat.
I also really liked Omarosa on Celebrity Big Brother. I really was rooting for her to win. At one point, she was actually quite a delight on that season. I think I found her annoying on The Apprentice, if I'm not mistaken. That was, I think, our first introduction to her as a reality star.
Was she
Um,
twice? I feel like she was on twice
I
on the
think she was on twice. I do.
one time where wasn't it like something like a piece of the smallest piece ever of like drywall under like some scaffolding?
I don't fully remember, but I like loosely
Yeah, and
remember.
she was like, played it up, and everyone's like, it was a piece of dust. You know what I mean? And she was like, you know,
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what Omarosa comes up with, because like uh, she's so perfectly cast for this show.
yeah,
She's good. She's very good casting. All right, well, we did speak a little bit about Omarosa. Maybe we should talk about maybe Corinne a little bit.
sure, yeah. I don't know Corinne at all. I've never seen
Why
her
do they
before,
choose these terrible pictures? But
so
sorry, guys.
you'll have to fill me in as to exactly who Corinne is. I think she's the good like opposite of, Omarosa, where it's someone who maybe thinks she's nice, but to me, she's just so my first impressions of her is just super annoying, super like into herself. Um, I don't particularly like her, but I have no idea why she's a villain or what even show she's from. I don't remember.
So, yeah, you didn't watch the show she's from because you don't watch dating shows that aren't competitive. But speaking of competitive, are you gonna watch Love Island reality games
I don't even
or
know
Love
what that
Island games?
is. What is that?
So Love Island is having, from all the different franchises, some sort of competition show with previous contestants. It starts, I think, in November.
Yeah. I do
Interesting.
try to watch I do try to watch Love Island. I've not watched every season, and honestly, the last, like, 5 episodes of Love Island, I always, like, skim and just skip to the end, but, it's not enough competition for me, so yeah, but I try. So maybe, yeah.
So Corinne is from The Bachelor, and I believe she was on Nick Viall's season. And she was, with the girl that snuck away in the middle of the night to go and see The Bachelor when she's not supposed to, and like she was just like the girl that was getting into fights with everybody because like he liked her, and she would just do very selfish, like you're saying, things to advance herself in the season. So she's really bratty. She did have a, I think it was a maid was part of her, like she's had a maid like most of her life, and she had in her intro package, her maid was in it, and I think she brought her maid with her onto like the show. I can't remember all the details. It was a good 5-6 years ago, but yeah, she's a little bit young, spoiled, but she is a Bachelor Nation
Right.
favorite just because she's just who she is. She's
Oh,
so
right. She's
Corinne.
also Bachelor Nation. She's like, "You don't know Bachelor Nation." They'll come like
Mhm.
and, but that's the thing, it's like, I don't know if she thinks she's really a villain. She's just like, "Oh, I was, you know, like, seen as a villain, and I understand why," but I don't think she understands all of the faults of her character, which does put me off of her because I feel like people like Tiffany, people like Omarosa, they will play it up, knowingly. To me, uh, she's just kind of oblivious to that and is just that person, and I don't like those people. So I kind of, I kind of loved that she was the, on the other end of Omarosa's like initial kind of attack, or I just thought I was like, okay, I don't love, to be honest with you, women going for women right away, kind of a thing, and all that kind of stuff, and those stereotypes, obviously, in reality TV and whatnot. But I I don't like her. So, and I didn't watch her original show, so I don't, you know, yeah, Bachelor Nation, I don't know.
Yeah, she's okay. I mean, like I think she's very pretty. I do think that it's interesting to have this opposition with Omarosa, but like I don't like already. I think she was calling bullying, and I'm just like, like you're on a show called House of Villains. Like you can't play victim and call bullying. You know what I mean? Like go toe to toe, villain back.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, she ran off to her room. She was crying. Are they real tears, crocodile tears? Who knows? But I mean, yeah, it's what you signed up for. So, but I just think she's, is that in real life? I don't know if she's playing into it all that much. So, um,
I don't know who we saw next, but I'm gonna do another.
anyone.
Who do you want to talk about
Can we
next?
take? Let's talk about New York. How about that?
Oh my gosh.
High
So,
stakes.
okay, I know that people are going to come for me when I mention this right now, but I haven't seen all of Flavor Flav, House of Love.
Well, I have. So you're
I'm okay.
all of it. I've seen
Do you
House
give
of
me
Love.
my street cred?
I've seen all of it. I've seen everything. In fact, how did I mention this to you already? You know how like the Roman Empire thing that is going around like TikTok and stuff. Maybe I mentioned in a previous video, um, where it's like all guys think about Roman Empire, like pretty
Yeah.
often, like that trend. To me, it's Tiffany Pollard, New York, on either Celebrity Big Brother talking about Emma Collins, or in some sort of like on original like Flavor of Love or whatever. So it's usually a clip of her in my head that lives rent free. So
I mean, okay, for a while and around, I guess this was probably the heyday of House like Flavor Flav's show. People used to say that like they thought I looked exactly like her. And like, I was living in Montreal, and they were like, be like, "Oh my god, you look exactly like New York. You look exactly like New York." And I was like, "Not really. Do I?"
maybe your face shape, but I don't really see it. I mean, No, I mean, I don't know. What are comments? Leave comments. Anyone
I mean, I don't think so, but New York and Whoopi Goldberg are the two people that
Yeah,
I
I think Whoopi
most
Goldberg's crazy. I think that's crazy.
I would I would honestly say, Jonathan, that in my lifetime, I probably got told that I looked like Whoopi Goldberg about 2,000 times. It's like
That's
it's not like 5 times, it's like
yeah,
thousands.
that's wild to me because I don't see it at all. So that's wild to me.
I see New York more than
Yes.
Whoopi for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering if people think that maybe skin hue means resemblance. Because I do feel like maybe we might be the same complexion hue.
You and
Both.
oh, I don't know. I can see more New York, but like I said, I think it's really like maybe the face shape or whatnot. But I don't see Whoopi at all. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. But in this episode, we're starting off by seeing like a lighter New York, a lighter in the sense of like she's not as like I'm this, I'm gonna come in and she's kind of like and even when she was saying about what's his name, Shake, is his name Shake?
Shake. Mhm.
Because she's like, "Oh, not you, anyone but you." She's like laughing and joking around, and it's very light. It's very, it's friendly. I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad because I want you to stay as long as." And I've seen her on those like, gosh, she was on a show, like some horror themed show,
Mhm.
where they like kill people off stuff with it, which I watched, and she usually comes for people right away, like an Omarosa, and it doesn't make her last as long as I'd want to see her. So I was like, oh, this is good. Form those relationships and then still be true to who you are. But we saw her connecting with Corinne. She's like, "You're my roommate. I got you," and I was shocked by that. Uh,
Yeah, and even when, Omarosa and her were having a conversation in the room, and Omarosa she said something like, "Well, Corinne's like my roommate," and Omarosa's like, "What, are you bonding with her?" And, like, she's like, she was crying," and Omarosa's like, "First to cry, first to fry." And I was
she's like,
like, "You know the rules of reality TV." I'm like, "Is that a rule? If you cry, you're out?" Like
she's like, "You got to go." Yeah. So I was really surprised by this, like new,
Softer side of New
softer side.
York.
Tiffany Pollard, yeah. So, again, it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out for sure, and we've seen it in previews. But it's it's an interesting approach that I think could keep her in the game longer by being kind of friends with everyone,
Mhm.
and so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of New York.
Yes, I love seeing New York. People have been wanting New York to come back on their screens, and so, it's nice that she's on this season, and so far she's, like, shining, so I like seeing this side of her for sure.
Forget what the catchphrase is, but like I got time for New York or whatever it was that Flavor Flav said. But yeah.
Who's next?
Well, we can talk about someone else that I don't know. Is his name Jax?
Sure, yeah.
I don't know him at all. So, like, inform me. I don't know
Yes.
where he's from. I don't know what.
Vanderpump Rules, baby.
Yeah.
So Jax was he was dating Stacy Schroeder, and she got him on to start bartending at Sir, which is a restaurant in Los Angeles, and that particular restaurant is owned by Lisa Vanderpump. And Lisa Vanderpump pitched the idea of having the staff of her show become a reality TV series. And at that time, she was a housewife of Beverly Hills and has a lot of money. She's from England and she owns many restaurants. And obviously, Andy Cohen really loved this idea. And 10 years ago, Vanderpump Rules was born and he was part of the like premiere cast. And so back then he was like really really good looking, but he was the worst person on the planet. Like he was just like, I believe he was probably coked up, you know what I mean? He was, they were just like raging alcoholics, cheating, like just assholes that thought they were really good looking and were making a lot of money and were becoming really famous. And so just imagine what that would do to somebody in LA that's from like a smaller town, you know?
So he's just a villain for being like this big jerk.
Being a
Yeah,
douchebag, yeah, basically. He said that he's cheated on all of his girlfriends. Some of
right.
that played out on the show one time. With like he cheated on that Stassi girl, with one of her best friends while she was in like the next room. Her best friend gave him like a blowjob, if I'm not mistaken. Like it's just
Has he been on,
tacky messiness.
has he been on anything since?
Not that I can think of, but I could be wrong. He was kicked off the show around the time when Black Lives Matter was happening. I can't remember the exact reason why he was kicked off. I don't remember. I don't remember what happened specifically there. But yeah, he's been living with his girlfriend or his wife now, Brittany. And I think they might have done like a little their own spin-off show. Like Brittany and Jax get married type thing, but nothing outside of Bravo that I know of.
He looks like Jafar in that
Or
with his eye.
Aladdin.
With oh, not Jafar. Wait, no, wait, what's one the Lion King? The lion, the brother
Oh,
with
you might be right actually.
I don't know. I forget. It's been so long. But he looks like that. The evil, yeah. Um, but I don't know. So I mean, and he seemed, and we saw him in this episode um, play the that challenge to become a supervillain, and he was not making any friends. So it was, people. He was like, "What? I thought I was just supposed to, go hard." And he was I mean, we saw the replay and it wasn't really rough with them. He just like pushed the ball behind Omarosa and then um
Tanisha was just like, get
was
this.
yeah. And so because they were like I mean they were over dramatic with their description of what happened because we saw the clips, but it's yeah, I'm like, ooh, I don't know if you have that social awareness and that to really play this game very long. I think you can easily be put up by other people and um, maybe go home, but maybe I don't even know how you go home in this game. So um, yeah, we'll see. But I don't know if he's gonna be well liked.
Yeah, I mean he's kind of vapid. Like he doesn't really have that much of a personality other than he's good looking, you know. That's it. That's it for him. He might be going back onto Vanderpump because with the whole Scandival, if you heard about it, he kind of was brought back into the echo chamber of the show. And so maybe we'll see him again, but I don't know. Another person that you probably don't know is Shake. So Shake, he was on Love Is Blind. He was just you saw the clips of him.
Yeah, where he's like, basically making his only concern is that the woman's not fat. And
Yeah, and then the woman that he ended up getting engaged to, he wasn't really attracted to her, and he was just kind of rude to her. Like this was like it was just not great. And then at the reunion, he was a big jerk. He's
oh
quite
yeah,
an asshole, and I was just like, I hate this guy. I can't stand. Like I didn't even want to watch the reunion because he was making my blood boil. He's just such an asshole.
yeah.
So
Which is like, and it's that's like who he is. It's not him playing it up. Which again, that distinction for me is I don't like that. I don't like people like that. I don't want to see them do well in the show. I don't like
no,
that.
he won't, and
If that's
he
who
doesn't
you
know what he got signed up for sure. Go ahead.
I said, if that's who you are, then like, no, thank you. And like him just, it was bothering me just watching him being like, so how often do you work out? And what do you like, what kind of dress do you think you could fit into? Like, what
And,
size?
like, would
It
I
was,
be able to put you around my neck?
yeah, just
Like,
I pick you
shut
up
up.
and like carry you on my back. Just ask them. Why don't you just ask them like how much they weigh?
How much do you weigh?
Jesus. So it was, yeah, I'm not a big fan of him at all. But I never saw that show that he's originally on. So
He wasn't like, he's not even good looking, so for him to have such, like, high standards, like, shut up. Yeah, he was definitely the most hated person from that season of the Love Is Blind.
yeah, and then we
Uh,
saw that like initially, like that's who Omarosa wanted to, just talk. Let's talk business. While she was ignoring Corinne, but he didn't seem very receptive to her initial talks. And I mean, I think he would have been on the bad side of Omarosa if he wasn't the scapegoat to kind of like try to, shun kind of Corinne. So I think he really lucked out there because I think if someone else came along instead of her, and they could have really outcast him in that situation. So I don't know. I don't know. Again, another one that needs to know how to play that social game of what they've signed up to do. So
Well, and also, like, and it just annoyed me, and I understand that his show was completely different than some of these other competitive shows that, other players are on, but when, like, Omarosa's like, "So, like, who do you think is, the biggest competition threat or whatever?" And like both Jax and him didn't give any name, give anything, and it was, and she was like asking him like, "So, like, what are your thoughts like in the morning?" And he's like, "Oh, I haven't had my coffee yet. I haven't thought about anything yet." I'm like, if I was in that house, I'd be thinking about things every second of the day. And so that's why I agree with
but,
Sophie here, being like, he doesn't know what he got into himself into
but he
because
also
like
comes from a show that doesn't is not like a game based in a sense. You know what I mean? Like it's not doesn't have that
I
strategic.
get it, but like get it together.
Yeah, so I don't think he's not that. He's not that. So it's interesting to like put someone like that in. It always is interesting someone to put someone like that who wasn't in a strategic game essentially into one. But so far, flopping a little bit. But yeah, see.
I this other lady here, I didn't really know who she was. I don't watch 90 Day Fiance. We saw the clip of her, and I didn't particularly like her from what I saw. I can understand her being selected to be a villain, because she seems like kind of like a mean person. Um, but yeah, I don't know much about her because I don't watch that series.
Yeah, they said she was, or well, she said she was considered to be like essentially a gold digger, and then we followed that up with the clips. But she kind of just said like, "No, I have like standards, and this is what I expect. Like, if you want to marry me, like, I need." So I don't know how I feel about her. I think that um, it'll be interesting. Johnny Fairplay, or not Johnny Fairplay, Johnny Bananas is both is attracted to her and
And
Corinne.
Corinne.
So will that be a little something? Because wasn't he in a relationship for quite some time, and then a number of years, and then the last like year or two, he broke up with his girlfriend Johnny. So he has these opportunities now to potentially find romance on some of the reality shows he's on. But yeah, with her, I just felt that um, I don't know. I think she could be playing it up, playing into it maybe a little bit. Again, I don't
She hasn't
watch.
said it to like 3 words.
Yeah,
Like,
like, we don't really know too much about her. Yeah, I definitely can see her losing it on people potentially, but also, just kind of quietly falling in the shadows of others. So we'll see. But I don't mind her as much so far. I mean,
yeah, I don't know who she
I don't,
is.
yeah,
Am I frozen?
no,
Oh, because I can't click anything. So while I wait for my computer to recalibrate to some certain extent, yeah, I don't really know much about her. I can see Johnny using Corinne as an opportunity to like have some numbers. It seems like that's what he's trying to do is build his army of people that are willing to protect him or vote for him to stay if he's in that position where he might be going home. So I think that yeah, she's going to be one of his people. I didn't really see her connecting with anybody else. So, like at this point, yeah, I just like all I see is Johnny and her. Like I don't see
yeah. You
her
see
really
John
having a
and her. Okay, I misheard in her and her. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, she's on a show I don't watch. But here's the thing about like having all these people from all these different shows is that you need to speak to a wider audience, and you can't put like every awesome, like all the Omarosas in one season one, because then what are you gonna have for season two? It's just gonna be, you know what I mean? So you need to kind of keep those gems for season two. Bananas saying he wanted to like
yeah, he's so exactly who he is. Because I guess she's Russian.
was so bananas. Yeah, it's very banana. I love how that like kind of just fell flat on so many people too. Like they're like, "What?" And then they're like, oh, yeah, okay. Um, it's it's very Johnny Bananas for sure. Um,
Well, speaking of Johnny Bananas, should we talk about him?
yeah, 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 for sure.
Unless you have more to say about
No,
Anfisa.
I'd even forgotten her name already.
I had to just look right now, so I didn't know either. Bananas. He's in the middle of this poster. Is he the star of the season?
No. But I mean, he knows how to play that game, right? He's played it a million seasons of the challenge, and he's already kind of trying to team up with certain people making deals with like Omarosa and things like that. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think he's also, in recent seasons of what you watch him, he's calmed down quite a bit, but at the core of it, I think his villainness comes from being cutthroat and more than anything else. Like when I think of Johnny Bananas, I'm like, he will strategically, he knows who to team up with, how to get in people's, you know, heads and work certain groups. But at the same time, it's like he will do whatever he needs to do to win. And that to me is why he's considered a villain. So. But I don't think he's like he's very Johnny Bananas, but he's not like in my head, like a bad person or, anything like that. In my head, it wouldn't surprise me if he, took the money from Sarah and then afterwards wrote her a check. You know what I mean? Like, but just said, you
But
can't,
said like you can't come back on the show. You have to just like
or just say, you can never admit that I gave you actually half the money because this is what I want. That I want to be
I
known
need
as the
this.
person who
Yeah.
took half your money, so I'm on 10 more seasons. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if he did something like that.
I mean, he better. And then just be like, you can't come back on the show and you for a bit and you had to play off this lie. She's like, okay.
Right. Well, she doesn't go on the show because I saw an interview where she's like, she has clients. She's a therapist or something. So she just, yeah, it would be too disruptive. But yeah, I hope that he actually did give her money, but not that's a rumor out there. I'm just making that up, but I'm just saying I could see him doing something like that to really play into, what he's known for. He knows how to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's perfectly fine being on this season. I like he feels as though that he didn't need to win this first. I don't know what their game is called. We'll call it the daily for now. So he didn't. He gave that win to Omarosa. They made a deal, and so we don't actually know if this deal was honored or not. So Jonathan shortly is going to read a recap of what happened, what we missed. What we missed. Anything else to say about Bananas?
No, I think he'll do well. I mean, we did see in a clip where Tiffany's kind of going from, but we know how sometimes these clips are edited and who knows what really happened. And she was like, I'm going to be here longer than you or whatever. And um, but I feel like Johnny gets people upset with him all the time anyway and can recover from it. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm indifferent a little bit with if he stays or goes.
Yeah, he's fine.
I need to like for me it's like I need to have my New York, I need to have my Omarosa, and then someone who we haven't talked about yet is newer to me and not probably from his original show, but Bobby Light.
Let's see if I have his photo or if it's one that won't play. Bobby Light.
Bobby Light. So there is what is it called? It's a subscription service that you pay like $5 a month, and it's for a bunch of reality television. Um, and Bobby Light has, I don't even know what Bobby's original show is, to be honest with you, but Bobby Light had a dating show. And on the dating show, he had um, his like right hand man was this guy in like a motorized wheelchair. Gosh, I forget his name, but apparently they had beef, whatever it came from or something. And I just loved it. I just loved every minute of it. But he had a dating show. And I watched every episode of it, and it was very like I Love New York or Flavor of Love kind of vibes to it.
So he
I
was a contestant?
no, he was the person. He was
Oh.
the,
Oh,
yeah,
just people were dating him.
dating him, yeah, and I loved it, and so it was very like I don't even think all the men were gay to be honest with you, and so like it was just such a mess, but
Is it called Bobby I Love You Per?
Oh, that yeah, because that's what Bobby, I love you, purr. That's what you have to say. It's like, "Do you have love for Bobby? Bobby, I love you, purr, purr." Because the
It got
wheelchair,
an 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
I'd give it a 10 out of 10. I loved it. And was there even 2 seasons? Because if there was,
Okay,
I watched
no,
both.
it's one. Bobby, I Love You Purr is a reality television LGBT dating show starring Love and Hip Hop, Miami's Bobby Lights, and viral video personality Rolling Ray. Lights
Rolling
and
Ray. Love Rolling Ray.
where's the rest of this? Lights and Ray serve as the show's executive producers along with Love and Hip Hop's Hollywood's Jason Lee. The show premiered August 21st, 2022. Um, should we cover this one? And there's too much TV on, but like,
It was so yeah, on the Zeus app. Um,
yeah, this
it
is what
was it
Diva here
was,
is saying.
I subscribed to it because that's what I like. That's what I like. If you wanna know the types of shows that I like, download the Zeus app. Yeah, the Zeus
Okay,
app.
I'm gonna check this out because like that looks like fun. I don't know Bobby Lights personally. I never saw Love and Hip Hop. It was on a network that doesn't come on easily in Canada, so I don't necessarily get to see any Love and Hip Hops. I did try watching a season, but it was just hard finding links. Sorry. I would watch it if I could watch it easily. So yeah, that's his original show, but I think I'm gonna go find the show that you're talking about because like we'll see him in his full
Yeah,
glory.
he's
Hmm.
a little nicer so far, um, because it was his show. So, like, when I watched him on this dating show, it was very much like, I'm the king of the castle.
Hmm.
Would I say, you know what I mean? But yeah, so we're seeing a little nicer Bobby. I thought he was very funny. Like when he said there's gosh, what's the word he used about the food, like being over there to kind of like get away from that, like where he was. He's like, oh, I think there's some, and like I just like yeah, he's funny. He's funny. I think he's very entertaining to watch. And he's also someone I would like to see make it to the end.
Far.
Yeah.
Hmm. Joanne here is saying that he's rapper Trina's cousin. I do not
Oh,
know.
oh that? Like, yeah, I didn't libation. I didn't know. I said libations over here. But I didn't know that. Yeah, I just love that the dating show. I didn't watch his original Love and Hip Hop.
Me neither. Who are we missing? Tanisha?
Tanisha, I also don't know. Yeah,
Me neither, but I know the show that she's
I
from.
think I mapped it out in my head, and I was like, I know 5, and I don't know 5. And I'm okay with that ratio. Like, there are 5 good ones that for me that I'm like, okay, I know.
Let me just double check that we have that she's the last one. Oh,
I knew Johnny, Omarosa, Tiffany,
yeah,
Bobby,
she is.
and
Um,
the other Johnny, Bananas.
so sorry, these terrible pictures on the website. So Tanisha here, I don't know her specifically, but I have watched a few seasons of Bad Girls Club, and Bad Girls Club was just basically women put together to live in a house that all have attitude problems and like it was always a hot mess. We saw the clip of her banging pots and pans, but she has seemingly mellowed out a little bit. She had a child. She's kind of on the show to win some money for her child, and that she wants to do something for her. And I think it was a she that she'd said. And yeah, that's all I really know about her. She did go on the reward with Omarosa, and so it looks like she's going to be protected by Omarosa for at least a little bit. So I'm not sure how she's going to be strategically, but right now she's seemingly in a good place.
Yeah, I liked that Omarosa picked her because, don't show your relationship with Johnny Fairplay. Pick some people that you think you can connect with, and probably like I feel like Omarosa feels like she can like kind of control her, or not, maybe not control is the right word, but influence her, or just kind of lead her. And so yeah, I don't know her, but I was like uh I
Diva, sorry, Diva's Bad Girls Club is the only reality show I have auditioned for. Diva, are you a bad girl?
also, where's your audition clip?
I would love to see your audition tape. That'd be awesome. Sorry, I cut you off.
Is it like one of those ones where you just show up to and you like, or do you actually have to submit something first?
Yeah,
Because if you have it, we wanna see it.
please. Oh my god, that'd be a fun show, just like watching people's audition clips.
I watched something on Zeus. Was it where they just kinda, like, show up like, American Idol, old American Idol style in, like, crowds, and then they, like, do whatever in front of a panel of judges, literally whatever, and, um, and kind of show why they belong on this.
Yeah, casting call. I'm sure that a lot of shows do that. Like obviously
Yeah,
Survivor, Big
but it
Brother.
was like but it was very much like, why you're I feel like it could have been Girls Club, or I don't know. Anyway, Zeus. I'm gonna plug the Zeus network, but
So I don't know much about Tanisha, but I'm looking forward to seeing her on the season for sure. I actually the whole cast, other than Shake and maybe Jax, I don't really care about them on the show, but everybody else, I'm interested. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the cast. Want to just give us a little breakdown on what we missed on the episode, and we can talk about that for a bit,
sure.
and then we can move on to the Traitors.
So I'm just gonna read what I just popped up and what's happening here. Who's going back at the house? The castmates discuss who they believe Omarosa will target. Corinne seems certain she'll be one of them. Okay, we got there. So who's going up? Um, Shortly after Omarosa, Tanisha, and Bobby return from their spa day, the cast is swept away to a place called the Stronghold. It's a supervillain's dream fortress, and even as has a throne fit for the supervillain of the week. After Omarosa takes her seat, which is, I guess, what you saw, right? In a
Yeah,
throne,
I'll show
she
this
begins.
little thing.
She
Okay, hold on.
begins.
Actually, pause. I'll play this little part. It's only a short clip.
We didn't talk about Joel. I also really like
Oh,
Joel,
yeah.
and then the interactions of all of them, and the chaos, and
Yeah, he's a great host.
they're like filming in the day, and then they have to film at night, and
So this is the clip that you're mentioning right now, I guess.
yes. That's a power outfit, let me tell you, right there. Look at it. Yeah, she's like, "This is my throne, okay? Mine." Um, where was I? After Omarosa takes her seat, she begins to tell Joel about her 3 nominations. So up first is Corinne, which should be no surprise to the cast or viewers watching at home. She came for one of our time's most lethal reality TV stars. Yeah, so they're saying what we expect. The second competitor, this is, by the way, because this is not my writing, this is realityt.com. So, all credit goes to them. The second competitor she chose was Shake. Oh, okay.
I can tell that she doesn't. Shakes. What does she care about Shake?
Yeah,
Right?
who seemed quite surprised, but
He
her
wasn't
third
offering anything.
I know, yeah. But her third nomination is what kicked this show into high gear before naming
Must be
them.
bananas.
What's that?
Must be bananas.
Let's see. Before naming them, Omarosa gave a big speech about how the person she pondered is a man who's no rookie at being a villain. It's his brand, and not only is he a master manipulator, he's a competitive beast. She says her nomination should be Johnny Bananas, but Omarosa chose Jax
Jax.
instead,
Oh, okay.
since she gave him her word. Um, she says her nomination should be. Oh, so she like physically said that it should be Johnny Bananas. Okay. The episode ends on a cliffhanger, but only after we see a fired up Jax and Corinne in next week's preview, promising to wreak havoc on Omarosa and the house if they make it out of the stronghold unscathed.
Okay. Okay, that's a good recap though. Like I can picture what happened.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see like Corinne and Jax mad at Omarosa. Like Omarosa gives two like no doesn't give two F's about like people
no.
being mad at her.
She was already collecting her people. She was like, I want. She's selecting who she wants in her
She's
as
like,
her.
will you support me? Will you
And
support me if I
yeah,
do this?
and
Will you
she's
support
like,
me?
and that's what you have to do. There's only 10 people, so you just like, she's picking people who she um probably feels will never be on her side.
Hmm.
And the least connected to, and that's what you need to do. Like, so I don't blame her. And it's like, okay. And then and if you're afraid to go after people, like if people win something and they're like, well, she's too well protected, or maybe I'll take a someone underneath her out and not her. It's like Suri in Big Brother, really. People, Cameron was saying earlier in the season how, well, I have to go after someone else and Izzy instead of her because we just can't take out Suri. You can't take out the head of the snake right away. And so I feel like people might think that way with Omarosa. And
She's getting to the end, like, people are too scared of her.
I
Who is gonna come for her
Jax might be stupid enough if he survives.
if he gets power? But like,
If he gets power, so it depends.
if it's another physical challenge, okay, yes, maybe he has a chance to get some power. But like, I just don't think of him as the brains of any operation. So I don't know if like if there's any puzzly type things if he's going to be winning that one. So
Yeah,
I just don't know if he's going to win any power unless it's another one of these physical things.
yeah.
Which
Well,
it better not be because like this is not a physical game show. It's stupid.
and that's well, that's the thing. It's like we don't know what the challenges will be like to become the supervillain. So I think that's really exciting. I love an initial season one of something where you have no idea what to expect. Anything could happen. They don't know what to expect, so they can't
Mhm.
game it. And yeah, but I do think he might be. I feel like Shake might be cocky enough to do it, but I don't know. I feel like she could talk her way out of
Shake
it. But
Shake, I think is just he's a non-factor.
Jax, I think, is like ignorant enough to just be like, "Well, you put me up," like how he was with playing the game, where he was like, "Oh, I just thought you're supposed to go as hard as you can, right?"
Yeah, he's
Um,
dope.
yeah, but it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting to see.
So that's it about House of Villains. Let's talk briefly about Traitors Canada. I don't really I didn't take notes. I'm just gonna just talk about what I remember about the two episodes that I've seen so far and just give some basic thoughts on the first couple episodes and then decide maybe for the future if we're gonna cover it extensively. I think it comes on Monday nights or Tuesday nights. Do you remember?
I want to say Monday, but I might be
So
wrong.
tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Um,
Um,
I can I just say with this, and it's no fault of because we rag on, we say talk crap about Canada versions of stuff, and it's to no fault of their own because it's a tradition within traders so far. But I've watched now a couple Australian seasons, a New Zealand season, um,
UK. Shoot.
UK, multiple,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like US. So we watched a lot of. I've watched a number of seasons so far, and yes, they do take the previous challenges that were used and then use them again almost like entirely. Like they come up, and I was okay with it in the first couple times. But now seeing it in Canada, for whatever reason, I can't stand it. So,
Well, I think it's because it's so played out. Like we're on season 2 of something and now you're repeating like the challenges from season 1 that happened like when this show got popular. It's just so dated. It's so like old news. Like, ooh, buried alive, running around finding clues.
well,
Like
I've seen it multiple times already, so I don't need to see it like a fourth time. You know what I mean? Like
it's
it's not that great of a competition. Like, here's a hot take, Big Brother. I don't need to see your sliding, looking at
the
the
comic
comments. I don't actually like that challenge. I like OTAB. I like how they bring up certain ones, but there's certain ones that I don't. And I just feel like earning money on traders is not. It's not like the mole where someone's sabotaging. You can really look into it. So like every time you see it, it's just they're all earning money together. So what I need to make it exciting for me is variation, and I need to see like come up with your own if
and
you want to.
innovation. Come on, like that's just so it's just so low effort. Like you can take this idea and maybe vamp on it and come up with something new and improved and better. Well, I mean, I don't want to see someone being buried alive again in this. Actually, I don't know if you how you can make that better necessarily, but like I don't know. There's so many thousands of things that you could do instead of just copying something that's already been played out and done 4 times over.
Well, I mean,
It's
take that challenge, take it. Let's see it at night. Let's see a spooky haunted twist with it, some sort, like where it's like I don't want to see that challenge again. But if you were, just make it a little bit different. You know what I mean, or do something with it.
yeah, it's
So
identical.
and because I do find overall this cast on Traders Canada to be a little snoozy, um, it's a little boring for me overall, to be honest with you.
Well, one thing I do really like so far, and it could be because I am, even though I probably rag on the francophones of our country because they many of them have not treated me quite kindly in the past when I was living in Quebec. But I like Corinne as the host. I love her outfits. I do love that she brings a little bit of franglais, like a little bit of French English into the Traitors. I think that she sounds very Canadian to me, like not like East Coast Canada or West Coast Canada, but like she sounds Canadian.
Right.
And it's very familiar to me how she sounds, and I do really like her as the host.
And I have the opposite view and opinion of it. I don't like her as the host, and I'm
Mm,
sick of Canada having very distinctive. I want me represented. I want, I want to see my representation, and where how many people live in Toronto, and that Toronto accent that you see online is fake and it's put on folks. But it's
that's kind of
it's
a Scarborough accent, to be
it's the
fair.
Scarborough, and but like people, youths do it to be stupid. And anyway, so it's it's anyway, I just want to see people who sound, because we're Southern Ontario. A lot of us sound more American. A lot of us might say sorry instead of sorry. I
I
don't.
say sorry for sure.
Yeah, and I
I
want to
force myself to, but like,
and I
yeah,
want to hear more of that. I want to hear people with less of a Canadian accent who, I just want to see one host in something, just one, just give me one in something that doesn't sound like they're distinctly from a regional area of Canada. I just a lot they cast a lot of that too. I don't think this cast sounds like that, which I am thankful for because it just drives me crazy. So with her having that French accent, I'm like, oh, here we go again, because I'm like, look at John on The Amazing Race, and look at, like, it's just very, and all of our, and any of the hosts. I won't name them all. I won't trash them all, but they sound distinctly Canadian to me, and I just want one to just feel like it could blend in with the rest of North America. So
fair.
just
Yeah,
one.
I hear your point. I guess I just like I like the sound of her voice, and I like her outfits and like her whole I
Listen,
like her whole vibe.
delivery, everything else, yeah, it's all great. It's to me, it's just I was like, not her specifically out. It was just like, "Oh, here we go. We've
Sounds
cast
Canadian, but yeah.
sounds Canadian." I want to see, yeah, a reality franchise of some sort that is not almost distinct. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell. You're like, "Where is this from? Is this from the US? Is this from?" You wouldn't be able to tell it's Canadian.
I hear that, I get that, and also probably because you're in casting, like you are working a lot on American productions, and so like having people not sound Canadian is
It's really
very
routine.
important.
Yes, that's what I direct people on every single day is what words not to say and how to say things, and even the cadence of their sentences sometimes, and things like that. It's like, it's not process, it's process. And like, and
Process, product,
yeah,
produce.
there's a lot of things.
Sorry.
And so yeah, my ears definitely trained to it, and it's it's just, again, it's like, it doesn't need to we don't need to be a copycat or like a fake, US version of a show. I just want to see it one time, because a lot of people I know don't have any of those accents, and I live downtown Toronto, so the biggest city. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad French Canada is represented in something, because I don't feel like I've seen necessarily a lot of that, but still.
So Joanne here is saying, as someone who's from Montreal, I was happy to see her um as a nationwide show that doesn't happen often. I haven't watched the show though.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, you don't see a lot of like French Canadian represented in on reality TV. I feel like, so I'm glad
Well,
it's.
in like like the national, but like the French side of things has tons of reality TV. Like they do it
Oh,
all. Like they
yeah,
have
you're right.
Survivor, they have a version of Big Brother and other reality show like the Love Island. They have their own series, so
But
the
just
definitely the French
the
side of things.
wider kind of, yeah, we don't have that.
Okay, so let's just briefly talk about the episodes. I don't remember all like the faithful or all the non-celebrities, but the people that stood out are obviously Kuzi, Kevin Martin, Erica from Survivor,
Mr.
Mike.
Delicious,
Say again.
Mr.
Fierce, yeah,
Delicious.
Fierce. Mike, he was the only civilian that I remember right now. Um, Maybe I took notes for this show.
Well,
Um,
there's Rick the temp.
oh yeah,
Uh,
I read the temp.
if you want, yeah. So it's Erica, Kevin, Fierce, Kuzi, Amazing Race, Mick, Mickey, Mickey,
Mickey, yeah, I remember him.
um, Rick the temp. Um, that's I think that's all of the.
And May from MasterChef, maybe.
Oh, see, I never watched it,
I've
so I
never
don't.
watched it
But
either,
there
but I
might
just
be a
remember
couple.
her.
Yeah, there's a couple other ones that I don't. Um, um, Leroy, what's he from? Something.
I don't remember Leroy. Oh,
He's
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I think he might
he
be a
he
civilian.
looks like a he looks like a MMA fighter type of thing. I'm gonna look it up. Where's Leroy from? Leroy's from somewhere. Leroy Traitors. Gurleen isn't is that her name?
Anyways, I don't remember most of these people. As I said, I didn't. I think I took notes of episode 1, but not next episode 2. Oh, here I did. I did. Okay, so yes, Kevin Martin didn't come here to lose. I thought Corinne looks beautiful, and
He's
I said her accent works for me.
he's from the Brigade Race to the Hudson, whatever
I've
that
never heard that
is.
is. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so he is from
Oh,
some
Gurdeep was from the Farming
Gur,
for Love.
Gurleen,
Gurleen, sorry.
and Dom's from something. Dom from Traders. Let me look it up because it's half the cast is and half the cast isn't, right? What's Dom from? I don't know.
So like I literally didn't write any. Like I wrote like a page and a half of notes for episode 1. Um so Kevin though like wants to play with the reality stars. What do you think if you were coming on as a reality star, like how would your gameplay differ whether you're a reality star or if you're coming on as a civilian?
Well, before I answer that, I just want to say Game of Homes is Dom, and that's yeah, those are them. And then the other ones are all civilians. So there's 6 non-civilians or whatever you want to call them, and 6 who are. How would my I definitely feel like I would know that at least, one of the traders is going to be not only like one of the uh because there's 20 altogether. So not only one of the 10 like who've been on a show before, but I would assume it's either going to be Kevin Kuzi or
Erica.
Erica. Yeah, I would be like, one of you are. I don't care. You can't tell me otherwise. So
100%.
so I would definitely gather who I think's a traitor, and I would be like, I'm with you. I know you're faithful. You know what I mean? Just because if they feel like they can control me, then they would want to not murder me, and that's the biggest thing, right? Um,
I
yeah,
do find that Traders is probably the hardest game to play as a faithful, because they could just use you just to make a statement, be like, "Oh, no one would ever think that she would be murdered,"
yeah,
or like it's just like it's a very, very like rocky road that you have to play. But for me though, I also think it would be difficult for me to be a traitor because I feel like my face would tell if I was lying all the time. So I don't know if I could pull it off. I think we've talked about this before, but I think I could become a trader later on in the season. Like
yeah.
it'd be like,
So I played an online traders game, and I was runner up because there was 3 of us, and I couldn't convince the third person that it was the third person who was the trader, and we knew there was a trader left, and they were like, "Well, I don't think there is, and if it's anyone, it's you, Jonathan." And I'm like, "It's not me." But I'm like, "Well, we'll just lose together." But so I was runner up in a online traders game, and yeah, I was a faithful, and it's difficult, but at the same time, you and that's why I actually said my strategy because I did team up with the 3 of us teamed up together and we kind of ran that game. But one of them was a traitor and protected us from being murdered. The other traitors I found out afterwards wanted to murder me a lot. Being in the not the strongholds, where you can win, the armory. Being in the armory does protect you a lot. Whatever you can do to get into the armory and potentially win a shield, not always, obviously, but is important. And that's kind of what I would be doing but having said that, I was begging. I was like actively telling people, I'm like, if you're a traitor, I wouldn't mind being recruited because like I that's it's harder to be a trader from start to finish, even though we've seen it done and US traders won the whole game that way. But we being recruited is much easier. So I would think.
Because you just know how you are as a faithful already, so you can just act like that. You know how to act. It's just
Just
you're
in your
gonna
head, tell yourself you're faithful, just like don't plot until afterwards. Like in your daily routines, just lie to yourself and tell yourself you're faithful. So
I'm faithful. I'm a faith. I'm 100% a faith. Like you have to convince yourself that you're a faithful.
yeah, I think
Um,
so.
I do what I really like the selection process where they all interview with Corinne. I wish we saw more of it. I want to see more people being like why they would be a good faithful and what their strategy would be or sorry, a good trader and what their strategy would be. I would like to see more of those interviews. They did kind of still continue to play them throughout the episode. Like we kind of would flash back to when they were being interviewed, but I would have liked to see a little bit more of that because I thought we got to know, especially the non-reality stars, we got to get to know them a little bit better. Um, so the three traders that were chosen were Melissa B, Kuzi, and Mike. Mike is a mentalist. Kuzi, we know from Big Brother Canada season 11, and Melissa B. I don't know much about her, but everybody knows that she's a trader
Emily's
already.
out. Yeah, exactly. Honestly,
Hilarious.
out of the they're so forgettable to me. The civilians so far, because I feel like the edit's been like focusing on the people that we should know from TV, and just the traders. But I mean, the only one that I do know outside of that is Colin. I remember because everyone was on him, and then Donna, who's like a medium psychic. And other than the other two, who are Melissa B and Mike, who are traders. So everyone else, I have no idea. I have no idea. And even some of the people that I should know on stuff, like Dom, like Gurleen, like forgettable to me because I never watched whatever shows they're from. Um, but yeah, it's Melissa B's not doing a good job. But you know who I think is doing a good job, and I'm surprised. Not that they're doing a good job, but just like seeing how is Rick, Mr.
I
Rick
love
the
Rick Temp.
is, and I've auditioned him many times. Very nice. But he seems like to be throwing out a lot, and no one's like, "Why are you doing this?" And like, so I wonder if it's going to catch up with him, where he keeps throwing stuff out. He's wrong, and then them being like, "Well, that seems
Yeah,
traitor."
he's gonna be banished for sure.
Because if I was, me just watching it, I'm like, he looks like a traitor to me, and I know he's not one. But I was really surprised because he seems to like really throw a lot of theories out there without any proof, and that's the whole show is you don't have actual proof. So
So Kevin is obviously going to work with the two other people that we've mentioned that would most likely be traitors, being Erica and Kuzi. Do you think that Kevin knows that Kuzi's a traitor because like he or one of them at least because like he's very smart and he's good at these games. Why isn't he picked up on the fact that it has to be one of the three of them?
I think that I'm so glad you brought that up because I think that I don't know that they'll ever show it, but I definitely think Kevin will say afterwards, he's like, I knew it was one of us. If it wasn't me, it was yeah,
When then Erica gets well, spoiler alert.
yeah. Spoiler alert. I mean, if you're watching it because it's a Canadian show, but yeah, it's Erica's murdered, first off, and then so I would be like Kuzi's would be my number one
Yeah,
suspect.
Kuzi was be a 100%, and he already clocked that Mel B. He's like, even like, I can't remember who he was relating it to, but he was like, even I don't know, my grandmother would know that Mel B was a traitor.
But yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he, she wasn't very convincing. Even Mike, when the traitors first meet all together, she's like, does anybody know that it's me? And they're both like, well, kind of everybody knows that you're a traitor. It's like, oh my God, what am I doing? And he's like, well, like you were kind of a bubbly personality. And so you took off your blindfold. You're just like scowling at everybody. Like,
I
um,
know.
so I think she's going to be gone next.
Yeah, Kevin's too smart, and like if again, I feel like they're not showing a lot of what he's saying because I think he's too smart. So I definitely think he knows who someone is, and I definitely think Melissa's days are numbered. Um, so it's really interesting.
I mean, there's no reason for them to try to save her. Like, get rid of her.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like,
And Kuzi being a traitor is Kuzi is we can be so cutthroat, I think, and love it. And I feel like um, she will absolutely, cut Melissa if she needs to.
she'll 100% like,
Cut everybody.
yeah, Melissa's gone. Like, I think that the traitor's gonna turn on Melissa next episode. That's
I
I
kind of
just
hope
don't.
so. I want someone else. I want them to recruit someone more interesting a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I wrote the mission is a lot of running and who cares? I don't remember the rules of the mission, but they were running around gathering things. And
Um,
then sorry, what's his name? Was it Leroy that ended up having an asthma attack? I would think it was.
Wait, there's been 2 episodes, right?
Yeah,
This was the first episode.
I believe.
They were running around. Gosh, I don't even remember
Running
that.
up like mountains, and then like the guy the
Oh,
black guy fell, and he had like, or not fell, but he was overexerting himself, and he
they
had
had
some
like
sort of,
bars, and they were able to like give up bars for a ticket to the armory or something. And
I don't
yeah,
remember what it
I
was.
don't, I don't, I don't. Oh, didn't
Trayvon, sorry, it was his name. Goes down near the end. He's asthmatic.
yeah? Were they carrying backpacks full of? I don't know.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
remember. Honestly,
So
I've
anyways,
watched.
they stopped the competition, and then they replay it so that they had to blow something up, and then they won. I just was like, this is bad.
Oh, they were in the dirt
Like a
thing.
mountain.
There's a Yeah, that just seemed like it was, like, impossible to lose. Um, I was like, I don't see how they could stumble on this. I didn't think it was very, well produced, that challenge. I felt like it was, like, essentially groups of people when you didn't even need groups of people to do certain things.
I didn't I didn't pay attention to it. I thought it was boring and it wasn't visually
Yeah,
appealing.
sand pits to, like, connect the connectors together, wasn't it?
Oh,
And then once
something
they're
like
all
that.
connected, you had to get, like, the detonator, from afar. 3 people had to run out and then bring it back, and then if everything's connected correctly, but it's, like, it was so easily done.
Well, and then but they stopped it. I thought they had a timer going and stopped it because the guy was having a
Yeah,
asthma
they
attack,
had a
and
timer.
then they started the timer back again, and they detonated it, and it worked, and they won $20,000.
Yeah, and
Okay,
Trayvon, yeah, for sure,
okay.
yeah. I'm like, "Why would you volunteer to, like, run out when you suffer from asthma and you, like" did he not have a puffer or something? I can't even
I
remember,
have no
but
idea.
are people in the comments, are they watching this, or is it like, can they watch Canadian traders or no?
It's probably easier for them to watch Canadian television with a VPN.
Yeah. If you watch it, let us know what you think about it.
Yeah. So, okay, just to get through this episode. So, we see after the challenge, Kevin telling Kuzi his thoughts. Rick comes around the corner and tells Kevin that people are wary of him. Um, and if people think Kevin's if Kevin knows that people think that they're wary of him, then I think it also shows because he knows he's not a traitor that like it has to be Erica or Kusi because like it would just be the same bias that they would have for him, and they just have the wrong person. So I think he knows for sure that it's one of the two of them.
Yeah.
Um, we see Donna crying to the group, as you mentioned before. We see Corinne swearing in the traitors, and the traitors all meet, and then they tell Mel B that many are skeptical of her, et cetera, et cetera. We talked about this, but they decided their short list for people that are going to be murdered are going to be May, Kevin, and Erica. Um, so, do you think that those are good three people for them to be murdering the first time around?
No. I don't even understand the rationale behind it because I feel like those are, especially Erica, especially Kevin, like those are people who you are shields for you because you would think that they are going to be one of them. Even if you don't, you just like they're recognizable faces to everyone else there as well. Even the civilians. So you want to be able to I think it would be easy to paint the picture of like, oh, it's Erica or it's Kevin or look and throw it off of you. Or even recruit one of them later and then throw them under the bus to be like, oh, that was that. You see, it was one of those people that you would think that it was. It's just why murder them? That's such a waste. Usually you murder people who you would never think are a traitor. So that's the standard.
100%. And, like, I would think that Kuzi would think that, like, okay, it's gonna be one of the 3 of us. Like, the same rationale that Kevin should have to know that Kuzi, in the end, has to be a traitor. Like, she needs to be thinking the same thing, be like, "No, we have to keep Erica and Kevin in this game because everybody's going to think that it's going to be one of us that's the traitors. And so if we take away one of those options, it's going to be easier for them to deduce that it's me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that they should have maybe killed like a Donna. Everybody knows Donna is faithful, like kill someone that exactly like you said, that everybody knows for sure is faithful and um
Like,
yeah.
unless they're not showing that Erica was, like, really on to Kuzi or something like that, and, like, unless they weren't showing something like that, I just think it's crazy. I think that's a bad move on their behalf, and I think
Kevin
it was
Kuzi's also an obvious traitor.
yeah, oh, for sure. I think it was kinda led by in my head, I'm blaming the magician mentalist guy. I feel like he suggested it or brought it up or supported it or something. In my head, I'm blaming him for that move. And I was just like, "That's wild to me." I'm like, "What a silly mistake." And producers are not happy about it too because they wanna, like, milk their biggest stars for as long as possible,
She was
so
on US television for 3 months,
yeah,
and
yeah,
she won the game,
yeah.
like, and she's gonna take her out first, and then we're gonna be left with these, 10 duds?
The only one who was on American television, right? Because Kevin was, like, Big Brother Canada and, you know,
Other shows that we haven't even seen?
yeah, Canada's Drag Race is Miss Fiercelicious and Amazing Race Canada, like, these are all like, she was on an American show, like, I think the only one, everything else is the Canadian version, so I
The
guarantee you producers were like, "Mm," not happy
Why
about
didn't
it.
they sway them? And anyways, like, that to me, that also, I blame Kuzi a little bit for not knowing better that, like, that's not the move for the show.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Like, I
it's
mean, like, let's say think they're making a big swing here and, like, it's like drama of it all, but I'm like, I
you
don't think it
can
was good.
yeah, terrible. You can keep them guessing later on, but, like, round 1, murder 1, murder someone who everyone's, like, not suspicious of at all, get them out of the way, and if you think they're gonna be a problem for you, bonus. But yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't understand it.
So the second episode, basically, what I remember, anyways, is like they all come in for breakfast. What do you think of the breakfast room?
Oh, I'm indifferent. I mean, I thought it was fine. They're all similar to me, so, I mean, I've liked certain ones better than others but sure, it's fine.
What I didn't like about it, and it just could be because I'm a little bit of a creature of habit, is that it was on the other side. So for I believe all the seasons, the table was on the left side, like if we're watching, like facing the TV. But on this,
On the
everybody
back and
came
on the left. On the back on the left, yeah.
exactly, and so this one was on the opposite side. Actually, I should be probably doing it this way because I think this is reversed. But anyways, that I was just like, I just didn't feel right for me. But other than that, like, it was okay.
The Australian one is they come in and then they have, like it's a totally different setup. They have, like, just one long table and it's kinda just one. It's not like an L shapes like we've seen on other versions, so I'm kinda it's fine. I mean, as long as the house, the home, where they're staying gives the same vibe to me, I'm okay with it looking a little different.
So they do learn that it indeed was Erica who was murdered. And then they had the really boring challenge that we talked about, where few people were buried alive and they had to run around with their maps, and one team got lost and they had to dig out somebody. And they didn't get everybody, but I think they made $6,000. And that's it for the episode.
The second episode?
Yeah.
Oh, no, well, we had, I don't know. I don't know. Uh,
Anyways, because
yeah,
it wouldn't have been concluded because like they like doing the conclusion on the next
yeah, that
episode.
thing drives me crazy.
Did
With
and
the
did they do a banishment or no? They didn't do a banishment.
oh wait, isn't hold on. I want to say that. Let me look at the cast list here somewhere. Isn't no? I'm gonna speak out of my bum because I don't know. Wait, wasn't like Colin in the hot seat? Did Colin go? Did they vote him out? I can't remember.
Oh, do you know what? Whoever was like, I am a faithful. I do remember somebody saying
I feel like
that, and
I
it
feel
might have
like
been
I
Colin.
feel like I feel like they were on Colin, and I feel like he left. So
Yeah, okay, so some people were spelling him with his name with 1 L and some people with 2 L's, yeah. Colin's out, and he's a faithful. I mean, the show really didn't have any substance for me, as much as I like it and much as I wanna support Canadian television, like, I didn't it's only mediocre.
yeah, I would say that the New Zealand version was surprisingly, because I love New Zealand and I love a lot of shows that come out of there too. But it was almost, I don't know, equally as boring, but it was a very boring version of it. And this is starting off with a little bit sleepy for me. So I hope it picks up. I hope exciting things happen. But
Exciting things are gonna happen if you're just using a map of another season. It's like, mm,
well, the thing is just like they're casting as well. And I know it's Canada, it's less of a population of like a pool of people that you can cast from for celebrities. But then you know what? Instead of it being diverse from like all these different shows, you could have picked another more exciting person from The Amazing Race that I maybe would remember. You could have picked another drag queen. Love that. You could have picked another like maybe explosive Big Brother person and just had like two from like more notable things and yeah and see how that plays out. Do you think that these people will work together because they're on the same season of stuff or same show, or
100%, but
will they be
yeah.
targeted, like, and they're like, no, we're going to get someone
Like a non-entity that doesn't have any connections and
from
ties with anybody.
from the brigade, whatever that is, and Farming for Love and Game of Homes. I'm like, I've never even heard of these shows, so it's like, yeah, yeah.
And like also it's just annoying too that like we didn't even hear about the casting for the civilians. And I'm just like, how did these people get found? Like, right?
How did that?
Like
Yeah, is any
Heather Muir,
but
who also does Drag Race.
I do like that I like how they have a psychic medium. I do like that.
Fine.
I feel like they've gone
She's pretty and she's a little bit like messy, but like
I
whatever.
feel like they've gone for that before in other versions. So which I don't mind. And I don't mind that they have like, certain types that they're going after. But there's so many forgettable people so far. And
Yeah.
and yeah, like Melissa B. Why was she selected as a traitor?
I don't know.
No.
But any final thoughts about Traitors Canada, and then we're just gonna quickly blow through the proposed cast for season 2 of Traitors USA.
No, but what's any comments? Where are the comments? I don't.
My comments would be that obviously I like the Traitors as a TV show, but I'm watching it the Canadian version. I'm just seeing all the things that I don't like about the show, and it's like it's almost not interesting anymore, I think. And I'm wondering if it's because they're repeating the same thing, so it's like, okay, like I boring, or if it's that the format of the show is not working for me anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's repeating for me is not working for me entirely. I also actually don't see a longevity for the traders in its
Well,
format.
unless they change something up.
What are the audience comments saying? Is anyone saying anything interesting? I don't know if they've watched it, but
Um, no, not the no. The last thing that was said was Kevin's an obvious traitor. So, oh, someone asked if you're single. If that's what you're asking about.
oh, I am very single. Yeah, actually.
Well, if you guys have any other comments about Traders Canada, you can just pop it in and we can bounce back. But let's talk about this cast. I believe that it just finished filming, I believe yesterday. And so let's see who. Wait, was this the wrong one? Shit, that's the
Ah,
wrong one.
love,
Um,
love.
do
It was
you
also
know the whole cast or no?
no, I don't know any of this. I don't know what's happening. I haven't seen this. I will look that up.
Okay, great. I know some, but not all. Not all. Is this the one I want? No, it's this one.
All new to me.
Okay, so let's just bang through it real quick. Okay, the first person that have on this list is. Oh wait, what's this? Oh, credits. Okay, no. What is this? Okay, the first person is Janelle Verzina, one of my favorite reality TV players. I know that you're kind of on and off with her during the lockdown times, but
Well, no,
um,
Janelle's my favorite. I just Janelle was, like there was still mask mandates in Canada, and it was, like, a second after the vaccine came out, and Janelle seemingly was, like, on vacation with her kids everywhere and got COVID a few times, and I I was just annoyed by, "Janelle, I want you to protect you and your family." But, no, I love Janelle. I'm a big Janelle fan.
so Janelle being on the show would be great. You know, she's friends with Suri, friends with Rachel, and so they were on season one, and so they did Snake in the Grass together. So it's just going to be nice to see Janelle on this show. Do you think they'll make her a traitor or not?
I'm gonna say yes, even though it's, like, kinda I'm gonna say yes, yeah.
I'm gonna say no because, like Rachel, we thought if she was gonna be a treat. Like I thought that she would be chosen, and she wasn't. So I think that they might put Janelle in that same kind of role as like maybe friends with someone who's the traitor. You know,
Yeah.
so like they'll stay around for a long time, but like it'll be an interesting dynamic, hopefully to see. Cool, love it, and Janelle, love seeing some Janelle on my screen. This guy again. My God, he's doing the circuits.
In
Is this
every
a Is this a sexy picture of him?
Is it? I don't know. Johnny Bananas, okay. I mean, he's in everything. I mean, yeah. I mean, I need a little break from Johnny Bananas and everything because I'm already watching him in like The Challenge and House of Villains, and but I think he'd be good. I'm just a little too
Do you
much
think
for him.
they'll make him a traitor this time?
I think he could easily made a traitor. I think he'd be a good choice for it as well.
Kind of obvious, but maybe that could
It's
be less
obvious, yeah.
obvious.
Well, what if you had, like, all 3 choices were the most obvious? You know what I mean?
That's good.
So, like, when you catch one of them, you're gonna be like, "Well, it's not gonna be all 3." Like, they're not
That's true. Hopefully that they start getting a little bit more smart about their choices and a little bit more meta and like get into the psychology of like who should be a traitor.
Mm,
Trishelle. Whoa.
Trishelle, okay.
No way she's a traitor.
Yeah, I think Trishelle just shows a lot of on her face, you know what I mean? So, um, I don't think she'd be a good choice for a traitor, but interesting, can get messy, love it, good casting choice.
Yeah, she's messy. She's probably gonna like cry. She's probably gonna, you know, get in a fight with somebody. Yeah, I think that she'll be a faithful, but a
Yeah,
messy
and
faithful.
because she's messy, it's like, you don't need to make her a traitor.
Yeah.
Like, just yeah,
She'll melt down on her own. I mean, but if she is a traitor, she could just melt down from the pressure.
that's what I'm saying, I just don't think it'd be a good idea. We love CT.
CT, yes. It's nice to see him on this season. What do you think about them bringing some MTV people onto the
Yeah,
next season?
yeah, I think it's good. And CT could be a really good trader because he has this, like, you know the voice that you should pay for a monthly subscription to. Like, it's just like it's such a good voice. It's like a now that he's older, it's you trust it. I don't know.
Mhm.
I would just trust his opinion. I do feel people like on the more recent challenges that he's been on. I feel like people do kind of like lean on him for certain advice and whatnot. I don't know. I just think that he could really get people under his wing and control a lot of it and be a believable liar. So yeah.
Yeah, I love CT being on this. Like, it'll be nice to see. Even bananas. Like, I don't mind him on House of Villains because, like, it's not the exact same people that he works with on the challenge. And so, same with CT. Like, it's just going to be interesting to see them, all the MTV players, just in a completely new format, new style of confessionals. Like, I'm just looking forward to seeing them on this new season.
Is CT newly divorced? Isn't he like
I don't know
not?
if the divorce has gone through, but that marriage is over for sure.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I mean, I'm always a CT and DM fan, but
Obviously. Obviously. Oh my god, and Beth, Beth, they could make her a traitor.
yeah, it's just like Beth is always seemingly like a bit of an outcast, though. So I don't
Mhm,
know. I think she could be a good kind of like someone could like kind of set her up, and they could buy someone a couple rounds of hiding behind Beth if she's not a traitor.
mhm.
And because she's like naturally like an outcast, I feel like I don't know that I would make her a traitor if I was them. But I like seeing her. I like watching her on TV, and I'm glad she's on potentially on the cast.
And I wanna see the dynamic with her and the other MTV people because, like, I feel like I don't know who her friends are, if she has any in the MTV world, and so, hopefully she'll be like, "We have to stick together," like, they'll work together and, like,
This is just
she'll
a rumored list, right?
I think this is the real deal.
Oh, this is confirmed.
I believe so.
Okay, good.
What do people say? I think it's a confirmed list. Um, hold on.
That's the first time seeing this thread.
There's several updates. Oh shoot. I was pulling up the most recent list that I saw. Who
I haven't seen anything.
Okay, well we'll still go through this and then I'll go and look and see who has been dropped.
I think some.
Um so then also Dan Giesling. I definitely have heard that he's confirmed. What do you think about this person being on the Traitors? Do you think that they'll make him a traitor? Do you think he'll make it past the first banishment?
I don't, but also like he'd be such a good suspect. I don't know. I kind of want to see him like this is terrible. I kind of want to see him be humbled. Like I kind of want to see him do not great because I feel like he just and not in like a super cocky way, but just like he like truly believes he's like a really amazing player. And I'm not saying that he's not. I would just it'd be interesting to see him maybe not do as well as he thinks he'll do. But maybe he'll take it and run with it and control everybody like he does. So
Sandy, do you want to just do you have the a link to who the confirmed list is? Is it on like actual peacock.com? Because I thought that this list was old, but I thought it was still confirmed. Yeah, I'm happy to see Dan on the screen again, but I just don't know if he'll be able to make it past episode 1, whether he's a traitor or not. Just because like he kind of had to get him out.
yeah.
Lindsay Hubbard from Summer House recently broke off or has had her engagement broke off to Carl.
And winter.
um
I don't know what winter or summer house is, and I don't know who she is.
I watched both of them, and so it's a spin-off of Vanderpump Rules.
Uh,
So it's about these groups of people that go to the Hamptons in the summer, and winter houses they go to. What's that winter ski town in the States?
no, Whistler's BC. Winter ski town in the States.
Uh, they go to. Oh, wait, I'm just having a mind blank.
States. I don't know. Two
Okay,
Canadian.
I'll look. Peek out Twitter. Oh my god, it's like right. It's sitting at the tip of my tongue. Okay, let me just look up Winter House. Bravo. Oh, what's it? Colorado. It's somewhere in Colorado. Okay, and then
Denver.
say again.
Is it Denver? Do people ski in Denver? I don't
I
know.
don't. It's not Denver. I think it's something Springs, but let me find then if there's a confirmed list. But I like the reveal, surprise reveal. So I'm gonna keep doing it this way and then look at that after. So, anyways, I like Lindsay. She pops off. She has a bit of a temper. She always talks about like, don't get me activated. I don't want to get activated. It's kind of
Oh,
funny. She'd be a good villain. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's a traitor, but they have a lot of good candidates. It seems to be a traitor this season. So Mercedes, so Shaw the Sunset, if you remember Reza from last season, he was out first. It's her on and off again best friend from this series. They've known each other from high school. They've basically known each other for about 35, almost 40 years.
Wow.
Had some ups and downs. There was 10 seasons, I believe, of Shaws of Sunset. And I think they're having a new season that's going to be picked up on E. Um, but yeah, she's also somebody that is ready to clap back. She's quite loud, boisterous.
I don't know. The name rings a bell, but I don't remember him.
Mm.
And I don't know her, and I don't know the show. But what is she holding in her hand?
Um, one of those vibrator things that they're always selling, maybe.
It's like, yeah, don't know her. She looks like she would clap back. So
Yeah, she's definitely a clapper backer. Tamara Judge, I believe she's still on the cast, if I'm not mistaken. She's from the Housewives of Orange County. She's definitely somebody that is known for fighting with other women on the Housewives. So she's gonna be kind of like a Brandy.
I know Brandy. I don't know her. I don't
They're
watch
not
it.
from the same franchise, but she's gonna be that type of personality, I would say. So you probably don't know this guy either. Bergie, so he's from Love Island, most
I
recent
watched Love
season.
Island. So yeah,
Oh, this season. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know Barry. He left with a girlfriend. I see him on TikTok. I 100% thought that was completely fake on her end. I
Was
was
her
like,
name
"Oh,
Taylor? Yeah.
you just want more screen time." And then I see them on TikTok afterwards, and I'm like, they're still together. I'm like, well, what?
Yeah, she's like dressing him. She's just like, I'm just gonna change him because like you're not an unattractive guy. Let's like make you cool, Bergie. Let's make you
Um,
cool, give you a little new look.
but I mean, he couldn't even like really hold a conversation. But anyway, I saw him and his progression on that show, so I definitely know who he is. Interesting. I think I he can be read like a book.
Yeah,
So
he can't be a traitor. He'll be an obvious faithful, I think,
he gets
and
read when he like anything happens, like he flushes. So like if someone called him out on being a traitor and he was a traitor, he'd go like beat red.
100%. He can't hide nothing. No lies told. Okay, next up is Larsa Pippen. I'm not sure if she's still on this cast list. I don't remember. Oh yeah, she is because she did. I saw she did a Instagram story saying that she was in Scotland. So Larsa, she's from the Housewives of Miami. She was married to Scottie Pippen. She was friends with the Kardashians for a while. Now she's dating Michael Jordan's son, if I'm not mistaken. And that's all I know about her. You know her?
I don't know her at all. Never seen her. Never seen her. I know Scottie Pippen, but
She's definitely, I mean, any of the housewives are always ready to clap back. So
yeah.
she doesn't hold her tongue. And also being from Miami, she's just like that season they have a lot of fights. So
I should not say this, but I don't I I wish the Housewives whole sets of shows would just go away. Like I don't watch them, I don't enjoy them, and they often come into play in things like this where you see like clips online or you have bring people onto other shows from it or whatever, and I don't watch any of them, so I don't enjoy it. But hopefully
that's okay.
she'll bring the entertainment.
She will. Well, some. I don't know if this is still true.
He's rumored to be on everything though,
Um,
and like never is. So
I
I don't.
don't know if this is still true. This might have shifted or changed, but I would love to see Boston Rob on this season, a season with Janelle, a season, I think it would be fun to see him on the Traitors. I just don't remember if he's still on this cast. Him with like Dan Giesling, like that's insane to me.
Yeah, it'd be good. Um,
Um, mhm.
yeah, I like seeing. It's funny because I'm not a Boston Rob fan from the original seasons, but it's something he's grown on me over the years. And yeah, I mean is he on there though? Because he's all rumored to be on everything. I feel like, and then he never is. So I would be. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not a real one.
Yeah, I don't remember what the real list is, or if he made it to actually go off filming, but I would love to see it if he's on the show. I did hear that she was on, so I don't know if this one stuck
Don't
yet.
tease me with my queen. Don't tease me. The only person who
Okay,
beats Janelle is Sandra, so don't tease me with it.
okay, so he got dropped. I think Sandra's still on it though, right, guys?
Ugh, don't tease me. I can't see a picture of Sandra, get my hopes up. So I'm gonna have to mentally assume she's not on the show and you're lying to me, whatever website it says, because I can't get my hopes up. I can't have that. I'm not emotionally in that space, you know?
Well, we know how you feel. I would love to see her on it. Would she be a traitor? Do you think that they would just go super obvious and make her Dan and like
I kind of hope they do. Like I want them to go with that strategy. Like let's make all the most obvious ones. Natalie, I will find you, Natalie, if she's not on the show. Let me tell you. I will haunt you. No. Oh, oh my God! If you're all pranking me here, I will not forgive you ever. Okay, love that. I love that. I think she'll go so hard for the traitors. I almost hope that she's not one because she will accuse people with probably zero evidence. I think, and she'll play games with people. She'll probably figure out who it is, and then like, oh, love it.
yeah, I would love to see Sandra. Just we just got to have her and her daughter Nina on Australian Survivor, and it was
I
just
haven't seen
really
it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. So
I
don't
don't know,
know.
just I'm saying it was a really just a nice time seeing her back on my screen again. And so yeah, I'm loving seeing her in this environment, and it would be amazing if she could have like a good outcome like our girl Sari.
If Suri, after Suri's win, if Sandra wins season two, I'd be like ultimate,
Yeah,
ultimate.
she would be a fun as a faithful for
Yeah,
sure.
I think so too. I think so too. She'd be like full Sandra, you know?
Absolutely. Full Sandra. Oh yeah, she's on it still. Yep.
Yeah, should be interesting. Should be good. She gets in people's minds as well. Yeah, she's interesting on all these shows. Again, someone who I'm not an original fan of, but she has this like a siren quality to me, like
Mhm.
in Greek mythology, um, who like has a like just the allure of her, and um, she takes people's defenses down. I feel like, and is able to kind of, I don't know. So there's yeah, Harv is someone that I like watching on shows now, even though initially in original Survivor I was not the biggest fan.
I agree. I wasn't originally a fan of hers, and then like later on, I became more of a fan. I think it's because she ended up siding with Russell, and I didn't want her to be on Team Russell. I was like, I couldn't stand Russell, so that could have been the reason why I wasn't a fan of Parvati one of the seasons. But now I'm Team Parvati for sure. And I'm excited to see her on this season. Like, is she gonna be? They have so many great villain contest potentials.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many. Yeah, this could be also the House of Villains. Like,
Season 2. Yes, Parvati. Okay, so these people are dropped. Okay, so Lindsay was dropped, Beth
uh,
was dropped. Okay, that's fine. Okay, Jack, he's from Below Deck. He's gonna be a faithful for sure. He's just kind of like he's kind of goofy, British, fun loving, like gets drunk, bangs chicks. You know what I mean? Like that guy. So
right.
he's okay
Yeah, I
from
don't
Below Deck.
know. Okay.
Cherie, so she's on the Housewives of Atlanta. I love this fit.
I
I
love
would like
it. Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay.
I might want to get something like that for when I go to New Orleans.
I would copy that look.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I I'm like, yep, check. I'm gonna wear that. Yeah, she's gonna be. She definitely doesn't hold her tongue. She gets in lots of arguments. Um, is it a Cherie or Sheree? maybe her line is Sheree by Sheree. Anyways, can't remember right now. But yeah, Housewives of Atlanta. She's definitely a star on that season, and she is going to. She'll be. Maybe they'll make her a traitor. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. I wouldn't see it coming.
Mm. Oh,
Claudia.
I know Claudia. I know
I don't
Claudia.
remember Claudia.
I know Claudia. She's
Maybe I don't remember these glasses.
before, yeah, she's on The Apprentice, but before that even, she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get this confused, and you're gonna come for me." But was she like a Price is Right model, or I think
Oh.
so? And then she was on The Apprentice, and I think that's how I know her. And then I heard she went on to like, yeah, Real Housewives of something or whatever. But
She looks familiar. The glasses are throwing me off a little bit, but
yeah, she looks different in that photo than she normally does. But like, yeah, Claudia Jordan's is someone who I've seen in multiple places before. So
um yeah, I'm not sure how she'll do though. I don't remember her specifically right now. But
I like her. I do like her. I do like her.
wait, isn't he dating Larsa?
They've had a couple on Traders, another version before. They
Oh
were.
yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
All right. I don't know how he's gonna do. I don't really know anything about his personality. Um, but we'll see if it works out. Okay, so dropped, Boston Rob dropped. Oh, Claudia's dropped and Jack is dropped. Okay. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Boston Rob. Unlike you, Boston Rob was one of the reasons why I started enjoying strategy in reality games because, like, I loved how he was teaching me about his strategic mind in his season of Marquesas, and so yeah, he kind of introduced me to strategy. So I love Boston Rob. I also had a little crush on him back in the day. Everybody else is gone. Oh well, it's too bad. It's too sad.
Yeah, I like Claudia.
Oh really, Peter Weber? Okay.
I don't know.
He's from The Bachelor, Bachelorette. I can't remember the seasons that he was on right now. There's been too many. He was kind of like a playboy. I believe he banged Heather Brown in the windmill 4 times. And then he got his own show and he was messy there again. But yeah, he's a messy bachelor. That's it. Okay. Phaedra, Housewives of Atlanta. I haven't seen the other one. Like I haven't seen her on I think it's the second season of Girls Trip. And I haven't seen all of Married to Medicine. I've seen a couple episodes, so I don't know her that well.
Don't know her. Also like the outfit though. Don't
I
know.
like the outfit too.
That's
Maybe
I love that color. Yeah, that'd be good on you as well.
thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna get some looks for Nola. Oh, Peppermint. Yes, I did hear Peppermint was going to be on, and I think she does make the cast.
Don't play with me.
I think she is on
Peppermint. Obviously, I know Peppermint from uh,
Drag Race.
Drag Race, but beyond that, Peppermint's also been on. I'm trying to think of the show with the it's transgendered youth who's no longer a youth that you watch from like a little kid.
Oh,
Called on like a TLC type show.
Jazz.
Jazz, thanks. Yes, jazz. Yeah, so was on several episodes of that because friends of the family there, and she is also does like I see her clips online for when she does like stuff with Bob, the drag queen, like as far
Mm-hmm.
as like, podcasts or whatever. So funny, love Peppermint. Very glad to see it. I'm surprised you guys didn't cover the Traitors USA.
Yeah, I know. There's been no time. Do you see how many shows are on right now? Like, there's so many shows, and like, had to go to New York, and I wasn't able to catch up. And then shows started, and shows that are usually on in the summer are still on right now. It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
I'm gonna have Big Brother for my birthday for the first time ever in my life, and that's like blowing my mind. I'm like, "Hey, it's October and Big
And it's
Brother."
not even going to be like close to done. Like, it's still 3 weeks
Yeah,
left.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. I
Uh,
accept everyone, and my birthday's on Friday.
oh,
And
Max. I love Max.
we
He's so
like
cute.
Max. Max would be,
Traitor.
Max is very no nonsense, but, Maxim Chermyrskovsky, um, I would actually like to see him and his brother on it together. That'd be
Love
nice.
it.
Yeah.
Or him and his wife, Peta.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a great casting choice. Like he's definitely a star of Dancing with the Stars. And he's not even he's a pro. He's not even a celebrity. And so I'm loving him being on this
There's
season.
been some seasons where he's like I'm like, "He's a bigger star than who he's teamed up with."
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love him and Peta's TikToks and social media stuff. They're quite silly and goofy, which I like.
That's good. I didn't know he was gonna be that's great.
Yeah, they're always doing like pranks on each other and stuff like that. Like they're very silly, which is because they're both so gorgeous that you wouldn't expect them to be kind of silly. So I like it. Yeah, love Max.
Oh my gosh,
Max
so many
is
good cast members.
Ekin-Su is from Love Island. Not last season, but
Yeah,
a couple seasons ago now, or in 10. I really like Ekin-Su. She's an actress from where's she from?
I was gonna say, what's her background? That name's is there little things over the
Hold
U's?
on, what's her name? Yeah, there are. I forget where she's from, but she is a uh actress there. Where is Ekin-Su from?
I don't know her, but I like the name.
Turkish, yes. From Turkey.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Ekin-Su. Wait, oh wait, honest, who's this? I'm excited for Max. Yes, oh, I love Max, and he is confrontational, so that's a plus. Yeah, no, Max is great.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
like
she is Turkish. She'll be great. She's gonna be, but like she could also be a scapegoat. Like I can see them like hanging her out to dry for sure.
right.
I don't know if she will have like the strategic chops against a lot of this cast, but she's definitely. I would like to see how she does. It'll be interesting. I think. Oh my god, there's so many people. Oh, okay, Kevin. I did watch Bling Empire. I didn't recognize him, and then now I realize I do, but
I never watched it.
I don't know if it's gonna be great or not because like I don't remember him that much, and I think he's like one of the major leads. But okay,
So he's exciting. No,
it was so exciting. Deontay, I don't know anything about boxing. I don't know who this man is, but interesting just to have diversity here and types of people and professions and celebrities. So, all right, Deontay, let's see it. Do you think they'll make him a traitor?
no, you never know. But I just feel like if someone like that who's like a boxer, I just feel like they're not. Well, no, those are more MMA. But I just feel like boxers are like quieter for the most part. But I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't watch things, sports.
Sports.
Um,
Do you know who this guy is? I have no idea.
oh wow, no, I don't. I have no idea who the
No idea.
former member of Parliament of the UK, John Bercow. No
Okay. Okay, so this
age
is
diversity is important. Yeah, have older people, so I'm all for that.
okay, so this is seemingly the actual cast now, I think. Um Okay, so people that made it on are. Can you see the big picture? Yeah, you can. Get out of here.
How
Sorry.
many cast members are there?
I feel like 20. Okay, so the people that made it on are CT, Larsa, Peter, Janelle, Dan Giesling. I don't remember her name. Deontay, Tamra, Bananas, Ekin-Su, Michael Jordan's son, Sandra, Max Parvati,
John
that guy,
John Bercow,
Trishelle, that guy, John, was it?
Lane guy.
Sheree, Peppermint, Bergie, and Mercedes. Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to it. What are you laughing at?
Wait, so no, I'm not laughing. It's a whole season of like just celebrities.
I think so. I think they realize that it doesn't work when you have non-celebrities. Like half and half. It's not good.
I'm kinda like I like a whole season of, like, no celebrities, but because I also watch the show in other countries, I've seen that. So I'm definitely okay with a season full of
Yeah, I'm fine with it because like the format isn't that great, so you might as well be interested in the dynamics of these celebrities.
yeah, I agree.
And I agree with you. I've already seen it many times with people I have no idea who they are. So okay, let's see what it's like with people that I do know who they are.
I'm just like, who decided that, like, you take one version and then every other version has to be the carbon copy of, like, with the tasks and everything. I'm like, based off of the one
The
season.
maybe the first 2 that happened because they were using the same location and they were filmed very close together,
Right.
and so that makes sense to me, but, like, a year later to copycat a show and then, like, go and do all the same tasks that you've created yourself is, like,
It's
whack.
so weird to me, yeah, so I want new stuff. I want new, exciting, like all of the, celebrities, even the ones I don't know.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Well, I have to say I'm looking forward to this show. I think it looks sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun. And yeah, like all the shows that we talked about today, I think that I'm most excited for House of Villains, secondly for Traitors USA 2, and I'm kind of low on Traitors Canada, to be honest.
that would be my pecking order as well, so,
But thank you, Jonathan, for coming in and spending a couple hours talking through all these shows. They'll all be shorter if we come talk about any of the other ones in the future. But I'm happy that we could just like cover all the bases and just get down to what we need to know with what's coming through with these shows. So thanks.
it's exciting to briefly touch upon a lot of them, and, they do need a format change, and yeah, and, there's a lot of potential comments. So I wanna hear what everyone's thinking about their show. Jonathan, are you watching any Halloween movies, and what's your favorite? My life's like a Halloween movie. I only watch Halloween movies. I like horror movies, and so I'm reading, um, 4 books that I've selected this month that are all spooky. I mean, most of what I read is all spooky stuff. And my favorite, so it depends on what subgenre. I won't bother you. You can hit me up on socials if you care to know. But there's like slasher. I'm like a Scream. There's more psychological kind of stuff, more like Saw, the first one. And then there's like a million different types of subcategories of horror films, and I have a bunch that are my favorite. So, but for Halloween, you always have to watch like Hocus Pocus, and like fun ones like that. So
Okie dokie. Well, Halloween is upon us. Are you going to be dressing up this year, Jonathan?
no.
No.
But, no, but no, I've only dressed up once as an adult, but I went, all out. So, um, a number of years ago now, 9 years ago to be exact, but, it is my favorite. So, that and Christmas, you know. It helps us get through the winter here in Canada because it's
For
depressing.
sure. And then it's my birthday, and then it's Valentine's Day, and then it's March, and then it's over.
Okay, so my birthday's in 4 days, everyone, and, yeah, and I'm gonna be 40. So, yeah, it's my birthday, Halloween, Christmas, Chantel's birthday season. Okay, well, it's going to be a good, several months ahead.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us when we talk through these 3 shows. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video. Let us know your order. Which is your favorite shows that you're watching out of these 3? Who are your favorite contestants on all these shows? A lot of them are villains. Is it the era of the villain right now? Like, are we all in our villain era? Let us know in the comments. Thanks again for being here. You guys are fantastic here in the chat. And I guess we'll see you soon.